G'day folks, welcome back to the channel for episode number 40 of our Aether Pets Ritualist, where last episode we hit 100 and I was talking about going off and, farm the warden and then maybe kill Cronley, do totems all up the coast here. And so I've done that for a little while, so we hit level 100 around 1 day 7 hours, and I'm up to 1 day 12 hours. I've killed a couple of Nemesis. Well, I've killed two Nemesis. I killed Valderan and Chupacabra. I don't think we have access to any of the others just yet. Nope, doesn't look like it. Although Chthonians should be getting close, yeah. So we're going to hit Nemesis with the Chthonians halfway through Malmo, I think. But in my, what did we say, 5 hours, 4.5, something like that, worth of farming, I found a few items. Now, all these purples here, none of these matter for the build, I just haven't blown them up yet. But these are the things I've found that are useful for the two different builds I'm going to try. So we have a single piece of the gold set. We have a couple of blues, so the Mythical Shadow Fiend's Cord and Mythical Grim Harvest Boots. I've got two of those, and I also have the Acolyte's Cord, just in case I need it. I've found the Beastcrawler's shoulder pads a long time ago. These have been sitting in the stash since before we hit level 100. I also found the Corruptor's Mask. And I have a Warden's Judgment with +2 to Briarthorn instead of +2 to Blightfiend. So I may end up using this later. It's just there for now. As you can see, we're not really keeping any other items. And these I am going to blow up at some point. Actually, I'm going to go blow them up now. Okay, there we go. Nice and blown up. So for our, I think, 14 dynamite, something like that, we got 66 scrap, 2 brains, 2 flowers, 2 Wendigo spirits, an ethereal missive, an ethereal mutagen, and a bunch of components that nobody cares about. Oh, I didn't move that down there either. And the other thing I wanted to mention before we get going is these gloves dropped for me while I was farming. They don't particularly help a huge amount, but they are an upgrade over our current gloves, which were just there for resistances. So I'm going to swap those in as well. That heal proc on there is just a little bit more sustain, and we get some pet stats as well, just a bit of resistances and some health. Right, so let's go bank all this rubbish and push all the resummon pets buttons and such. Set everything to aggressive. Okay, and bank this rubbish. Where are we? That one, chuck it all in. And I'm just going to vendor those. Okay, so we were up to Gloomwold Crossing. So we're going to go for a bit of a run here. And this part of the game is a little bit boring. So the only thing we care about in the Gloomwold here is killing Carax's Fowl and taking his heart. And it's basically just run across the entire zone, kill things on the way if you want, but there's nothing sort of in between that's really all that interesting. There are some stumps along the top here. If you're ever looking for Ugden Blooms, so for example if you wanted to make yourself a conduit, there's a few farming routes which I go over in my I've just hit level 100 now what video, or you could just Google them. But there's a few farming routes for Ugden Blooms, and you will want a lot of them if you are trying to make like conduits. Any of the AOM crafting stuff is probably going to need them. And it's another one of those things where you think you don't really need them, you never really had a use for them, and then all of a sudden you just don't have any, because you've had, one item you need to craft and you had to make 30 of them to get your 1 in 10 chance to have the item you need. That's definitely what happened with my Death Knight, crafting the Aether Cadence conduit. I thought I had plenty of materials until all of a sudden I didn't have any. So, just one of those things where it's nice to have tons of them. Okay, so Caraxus here. I'm just going to blow him up. I'm going to stand back a little bit, but not a huge amount. Alright, grab his heart and go back out the way we came in, and then head for the Coven. So back out the door. And since we are nemesis with the beasts, there is a somewhat decent chance that we could run into Chupacabra. I don't think he's in this part of Gloomwald, but I also don't come here very often. I pretty much just run through this place to get to where I'm going, and I don't run through and clear it almost ever. That is Pakla. Alright, so we got monsters from both directions. Let's see if we can't get them all on one side so we can run away if need be. Alright, Pakla's down. Most of the rest of this should be... Oh, Pakla was not down. Must have been one of his friends. Most of the rest of this should be relatively free kills. And we'll turn the loot back on. Something you kind of got to get into the habit of doing when there's huge packs like that is just turn the loot off. Because otherwise we won't be able to see anything. Alright, that was me really wishing these had been the Aether Reach gloves, but it is what it is. Okay, so heading into the Coven's refuge here. We will do a little bit of talking and that'll be about it. I don't really care about the Coven's quest since I am revered. So a lot of this is just going to be me doing the bare minimum to get through to Malmo. So we're going to give her the heart and we are going to go talk to Barrowholm. Now you absolutely can do all these quests again. I'm just going to ignore them because we are max reputation with the Coven. And we don't need any XP, so realistically there's no point. There is, I think, a quest that gives you a purple item, but honestly, if I want purple items, I'll just go do a totem. Totems are going to be much faster than doing all of the quests, so I'm just going to skip them. With that in mind, I am actually going to... Excuse me one moment while I open the map. As always, I do strongly recommend having the map open if you are going to be playing Grim Dawn at all. It's worth having it open. It'll just show you where all the little things are. If you're new, I'd say don't have it open, just explore, but I'm not new. So I'm kind of a little bit jaded in that. I don't really care about all the hidden things. You almost never get anything good from them, although it is fun when you do, so there is that. Alright, so we're heading northeast, and like I said, we're just running straight through to Barrowholm. I will make a quick pit stop up here, because I want to kill the Wraiths. Actually, you know what? No, I don't. Oh, if they drop me a new bound Wraith, I'm not going to be able to equip it anyway, because of my spirit being so low. But, yeah, so we're just going to head on through. I'll kill any monsters I see with a star. If I run into Chupacabra, I'll kill him as well. But otherwise, we're just going to walk on through. Ah, speak of the devil, here he is. Alright, we're just going to clear a bunch of room over here, and I am actually going to head back and clear all this as well, just so I have room to kite. I did kill him earlier, and it required a lot of kiting, because you really don't want him to be standing in his pools of blood. So it did require a decent amount of kiting, and he's going to kill the pets, and I'm going to have to resummon them, so I want all this area clear so I can kite him around pretty much everywhere. I'm going to clear... that's probably enough. I just really don't want extra things deciding they want to join the fight. This loop will probably be good enough. Okay. Let's see what we can do. See if we can get him on his own. I won't hold my breath particularly much. It looks like we now have a couple of crabs. Okay, let's go. Run for it! Okay, and again, like I said, you want to not stand in the pools of bleeding stuff. His first form should go down, I won't say fast, but it should go down relatively easily. It's when he splits that it becomes a problem. And do keep an eye on the health of your pets, because they will die. Okay, he's already split again. This is unusual. Last time I fought him, he just chased me around, and my pets chased him. Okay, we're gonna run away from his little blood pools. Valduran was actually a lot easier than these guys are. Okay, should be one more split, I think. Nope, okay, he's dead. Cool. So I don't have to worry about him for the rest of this session, and he dropped some pets that I'm not going to use, although they do have a lot of armor on them. No pet bonuses though, which kind of sucks. If you've watched the highlights video that I don't know if I've put it up yet by the time you see this video, but you'll see my first kill of him in an earlier section, and it was a lot more painful than that. So, happy that turned out as well as it did. And now we're back to running to Barrowholm. Now, Barrowholm, from memory, is... where are we? Where am I? Okay, Barrowholm's already revered, so I don't need to do their quests either. So I'm pretty much just going to... I will end up doing their quest at some point because I do want to kill Ravager. Just for fun, more or less. But for now, I will have to go do... I'll have to do some of their quests, so as he'll give me the item I need. So yeah, ignore what I just said because that's not happening. But I'm going to do as few of their quests as I can. I think I have to go and rescue the peoples and clear the mine out, but I think that should be enough. Okay, and this is that Laria's? Yeah, Laria's den. Basically just keep heading north. I guess this is the downside of doing any kind of faction grinding in earlier difficulties. It's kind of like, what's the point of Ultimate? I know a lot of people will play through normal just to get into Elite, and then they'll do a full playthrough of Elite, and then a full playthrough of Ultimate. And honestly, it's probably not an awful idea. Alright, nothing there. Anytime you see one of these stumps, just make sure you click on it. The big ones specifically, they almost always have an Oakden Bloom in them. And like I was explaining earlier, you're going to want tons of those. Alright, we ignore the Wraiths, we don't go up this one. Although this Spiteful Wraith is potentially going to drop us a new offhand that we can't use. Alright, so coming up on Barrowholm, and with Kuba being dead, that definitely makes the rest of this a lot less scary. Let's just teleport past those. Okay, coming into Barrowholm, we need to talk to Scorv and then come back out and talk to his two friends. So Scorv is in the main house here, and I'm going to tell him that we are going to remain friendly, and that will mean we need to talk to his friends. Okay. The wards as well, yep. Okay. So we're going to head out of town to the north, because there's a ward up there, and also because it lets us loop around to the northeast and rescue lunch. So first ward, turn it on. One thing I do love about pet builds in general, and this one specifically, is you just kind of walk through areas and things die around you. It's good fun. If you're into that sort of thing, I know a lot of people aren't. Okay, see that star on the map there? That's another ward. This is lunch, so we're going to click the right button. Okay, send them off to Barrowholm. And then we're going to head south. So in my farming as well, I was able to amass a decent pile of coins. I'm going to use these to flip set items. So I've unlocked the transmuter on normal. I'm going to grab maybe 3 or 4 level 94 purple sets for a couple of items that I don't care about, and I will go flip those in normal. I will record it so you can see the process of me destroying hours worth of farming in a minute or two, which will be fun, but hopefully we'll get an item or two out of it. Although having said that, no promises, because there are a lot of set items. And there's also, so for example, the gloves, the Aether Reach gloves that I'm interested in, because they are not part of a set, you actually can't roll into them. You have to get them to drop naturally, which can be kind of painful. And unfortunately, because we are here to clear the mine, or at least to kill all of the... It's a specific type of these crabs, one of the yellow ones. We kind of have to go through and just kill everything. Is it poke shell or something, maybe? Stone shell? I can't remember the exact name. I actually don't remember the last time I read through the quest text. I usually just spam click. Yep, okay, done. Next. Alright. So in the mines here, there is a treasure trove. There's a couple different locations for it. One of them's here. Well, we're getting it here. But it's worth finding them, especially once you're max level but don't have the gear you want next. These are really good for blueprints as well. So for example, Seal of the Void here. I believe there is a... not a force move. So when you open a treasure trove, it basically looks for a blueprint you don't already have, and it'll try and drop that. So if there is blueprints you don't have, treasure troves are a really good way to get them. So I usually do treasure trove and totem farming at least for a couple hours whenever I get a new character to level 100, just to get all those blueprints. There is a checklist on grimtools.com, which will show you all of the blueprints you have. If you upload your character to the checklist, we'll actually just go through and check off all the ones you have. So these pants here, not a set, so I can't use them for flipping, which is unfortunate. But yeah, there's one of the categories of blueprints that I don't think you can get from totems. It's like the extra rare ones. But you can get all of the... Well, you can get most of the rare and common blueprints. I think you can get all of them from totems and from treasure troves. I did find also that after I'd been farming treasure troves and totems for a long while, I've stopped getting blueprints from them. But then I started targeting Nemesis drops, and each of the Nemesis troves was back to dropping a decent number of blueprints for me. So you may have to farm treasure troves. I'm not sure how the drops work in Shattered Realm, but you can definitely farm there as well. Maybe you have to go to a certain depth on Ultimate before they start dropping the really rare blueprints. I just don't do enough Shattered Realm to really say for sure. I'm not a big fan of the format, but you know, whatever you're into. At some point I will have to do some Shattered Realm. I think I've done down to 50 on the Death Knight, something like that. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. As I said, I don't really enjoy Shattered Realm, so I try to avoid it. But there are skill points available from getting to certain depths in there, so if you want the skill points, you kind of have to go do it. Alright, let's kill the Nax and Shade here. We'll get everyone into him, he should die relatively quickly. Alright, there he goes. Be careful standing in the goop. Definitely don't want to get to level 100, farm for 4 hours and then die to goop on the ground. Alright, I'm just going to do a quick loop on the way back, make sure I've killed everything. It does look like I may have missed some just there. So we'll see. We'll poke over here as well, we are uncovering, yeah. Uncovering the fog there, so I had a feeling there might be some here. Pretty sure I've already been in here, but just to be sure. Yep. Always better to check than to get back to town and realize you missed one crab and now you have to come back and find him, or reset your session and do it all again. Okay, actually, since we're here, that totem, or that devotion shrine, is a combat one, so we're going to do that. Okay, everyone's dead. What do we win? Nothing. Some blues. That's unfortunate. Okay. But hey, we got XP, and we got reputation that we don't need. Okay, I think I already did this little... Yeah, there's a group that spawns here. They're easy to miss. Okay, and we go along the top here, just to uncover the fog. Yep, and we found a few more crabs. Alright. Now I think that's going to be everything, because we went the other way on the way in. That should be it. So we should be able to just go out and hit the 2 wards, rescue the other people. Northeast Ugdenbog, okay. I think by that they mean southeast Ugdenbog. Let's go this way actually, and get the first ward up here. Now normally I would be a little bit more apprehensive coming into this area, because Kubacabra has a lot of spawn points in this area. But we've already killed him, so I don't have to worry about him. So that way is back to town, and if you come down this way there'll be, see there, another ward. And then usually I have to run all the way down to the south of this section to rescue the second half of lunch. So let's go do that. We've just done a complete loop. Lovely. Okay, so we're back to the mine. I hate this section. So much running. The I will say though that But if you're actually doing the quests, this place is fairly well laid out to have things to do the whole time. It's not just running past monsters, watching your pets kill them. Forsaken Savage Totem, we're going to do that. I'm just going to clear the area first. Everything here is a bullet sponge, which is always fun. Alright, and we'll grab this guy as well. And let's go ahead and pop it. There we go. What do we win? Death's Reach. I think that's the two-handed, yeah. Two-handed axe. Looks pretty cool. You'd think that'd be a necro item, but it's definitely not. Shaman Oathkeeper. So that's gonna be, looked like it was Vitality though. What are we doing? Vitality and Bleed. Weapon damage, Fire and Fizz convert to Vitality, yeah. Always fun to look at the purple items and just think, you know, what could I make with this? Alright, here's the second half of lunch, so let's send them to Barrowholm, and now we're going to head back to Barrowholm, turn some quests in, and get us through a rift. So we should be doing, I think, 3 quest turn-ins. Okay, there's the crabs. Fortunately I got them all. I always talk about how if you miss one you have to come back, and I don't think I've actually missed one while I've been recording, which I'm happy about. I hate having to do it when I'm not recording. Okay, so we've got the Ugdenbog Fetish. Let's head back to the Coven, turn that in, and get the item to open the portal. If we can negotiate a simple ramp would be nice. Okay, here it is. What do we do next? How will this help me? I guess this is the best we've got. And then we have Ulgrim's Keepsake. Alrighty, so I'm going to end this episode here, and just do a little bit of shopping. But yeah, this will be it for this episode, so thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.